I tell you what, we've been saluting our heroes all week long. I've been just thrilled with the way this has all turned out. We've had every single branch of the military on. Monday, we started with the U.S. Air Force and Space Force. We've had the Army on. We've had the Navy on. We've had everybody on, and now we're to the big dogs here this morning, honoring our Marines this morning because it's their birthday today. If you haven't heard, we've already had the Air Force, we had the Coast Guard, we had the Army and the Navy, but we got to give our shout out today to our Marines, and we have our Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant here, Kenneth Porter. Great to have you on, and we thank you all for your service here, especially leading up to Veterans Day.
No, awesome. I do appreciate you guys having us here today. The message I have for the community is any veterans that this message may reach, thank you for your service. The sacrifices that they've made before myself and many others to come have really built the foundation for us to continue these freedoms and liberties that we have today.
All right, so it's your birthday for the Marine Corps, and we had the Army on yesterday. We were talking with them about how you guys were kind of born at the same time. What's the Marines' backstory?
So November 10th, 1775, born in Tun Tavern, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ever since then, just, winning our nation's battles, we got different slogans that we embody, and, we're America's 911 force.
So is it hoorah? Is that the Marine cry? Do I have it right?
Yeah. So we give an hoorah. You got some Marines that say rah. There's different variations of what you do in passing. It's kind of boosting the camaraderie and acknowledgement of one another.
Hey, look, Marines have a reputation. I'm just going to say, you guys are kind of the tough guys, right? You never want to mess with a Marine, right?
Yeah, they say that. It kind of attributes to our recruiting. So we take pride in hitting our enlistment goals. We do so by recruiting the highest caliber of individuals. People want to be Marines, but it's our responsibility to kind of guide them down that path.
And shape them into Marines, right?
Absolutely.
Because there's a reputation to uphold there. So you're a gunnery sergeant. I like just seeing you like guns blazing in battle there. It sounds very, very cool to be a gunnery sergeant.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me what that means exactly for those who don't know.
So everybody in service knows what a sergeant is. The Marine
Yes.
Corps recognizes that rank as the backbone of the Marine Corps. But ever since I made the decision to be a careerist, to stay in for the long haul, I always said I want to be that gunny. The short note of it is gunnery sergeant. You just look at them and it's the epitome of hard charging. Somebody that leads from the front, has the experience, and really just paves the way for the junior Marines.
And that's who we need when you're getting onto the shores of a foreign country and protecting our country and our interests. What made you want to enlist? How many years, first of all, have you been in?
I've been now serving for 13 years.
Wow.
So my story is very simple. I graduated in high school in Lake Placid, New York, upstate, home of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a path set for myself. My cousin was going through the process, and he hit me up one day, and he's like, hey man, come up to the recruiting office, check out the Marine Corps. I didn't know what it was. Everybody just said, hey, the Army, and kind of generalized the military as that. I went up there, and it was probably the first time in my life someone said, hey, what do you want and why do you want it? So it made me think deep about it, and I just want to be a better version of myself. And that's what the Marine Corps has done for me. And
for people who don't know, the Army did not start and then split off into the Marine Corps. You guys have always been separate entities, right?
Yes, sir.
So in terms of our guy who was on from the Navy yesterday was saying that his dad was a Marine and said, look, you're not going to cut it as a Marine, but you want to enlist. Where do you want to go? He chose the Navy, but he said his dad was a very strong, imposing presence his whole life.
Wow.
So Marine-wise, if someone wants to go and sign up, what is the process like? Because it's not just about fighting. You guys are heavily invested in the tech field too, right?
Absolutely. So the process, what it looks like for enlistment is we cover southern Ohio, southern Indiana, all of Kentucky, and parts of West Virginia. We have recruiting offices located roughly every 2 hours from one another. You can Google search, you can get on Facebook, and you get in contact with a local recruiter. From there, they kind of do a screening process to make sure that you're mentally, morally, physically fit to serve.
And is there an age range? I don't know if we talked about this at all this entire week, but is there an age range where like it's a cutoff? Like, look, we'd love to have you serve, but maybe something on a reserve status because you just might be too old at that point. You have somebody young and fit, probably, right?
A majority of the market that we go after is the 17, 18-year-olds because they are active in sports, but there is an age range. It is 17 to 28. However, you can ship off to recruit training prior to your 29th birthday. And if an individual is, say, 30, 31, 32, all the way up to 35, they can serve with a waiver. but you must have, an exemplary background, be physically fit,
Sure.
No stains on your record type of deal.
All right, so we have an image here in the studio because we knew you were coming in today, so we got a little birthday cake for our Marines. Happy birthday, U.S. Marine Corps, right there. And Jackie from the Kroger in Alexandria. I walk in there, we go to bed very early on this shift, and I walk in there at like 7:30 at night needing a cake. I forgot to get it, and so she happily put Happy Birthday, U.S. Marine Corps on there on the cake for us. So I was really happy to see that. Thank you, Jackie, for that, and thank you for your service, sir. Again, where should we go if someone's looking to sign up for the Marines? Where should they look online?
Here locally, we do have 2 offices in the greater Cincinnati area, and we also do down the road in Florence. I actually just stopped by Florence this morning. Both of them are in range, just because I know you guys broadcast over this area, and it'd be a great way to connect with them.
It's great to have you in, sir. Thank you. And hopefully for all of our veterans watching, they're inspired by your service, and we're inspired by theirs as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
One more note, though.
Yes, sir.
It is November 10th, as you said.
Yes.
So Marines, specifically Marines of Recruiting Station Louisville, happy birthday. Semper Fi.
Good stuff, sir. We thank you once again.